So Colin Kaepernick, obviously taking a knee during the national anthem has caused huge problems for him in the NFL. First, let me start by asking your thoughts on that.
Well, it's a heavy social issue in this country that I think the conversation needed to be had and needs to continue to be had. I was one of the players that kneeled in solidarity with him. For the simple fact that I felt that his why he was protesting was solid. And we can get into the semantics of that if you want to, but I feel like Colin took a huge risk with his career, with his identity, and he stood up for something that he believed in. So to me, that's an admirable reason.
You were in the NFL for 8 seasons, and you led the league in rushing, so you know a thing or two about football. So I'm just going to ask a football question here. Should Colin Kaepernick be in the NFL based on his skills, experience, athleticism, and what he's accomplished so far?
My personal opinion is yes. There's no reason why he shouldn't have, at the very least, a backup job. I think he's one of the better 32 quarterbacks in the NFL. But like I said, there's so many variables that go into it. So there's no telling. I would venture to say that, you hear coaches all the time talk about distractions. Don't be a distraction. Don't be a distraction. This would be what they would call a distract. I always thought that the distraction thing was BS because if you just turn off the TV, there's no such thing as a distraction. Turn off the news, get off the internet. There's no distractions. But they don't like negative press towards their organization or what they like to call the shield, that is the NFL.
Yeah, I think the idea of distraction is total nonsense. Are you a professional? Can you go out there and do your job, or can't you do your job? What do you? I mean, I can't imagine like an engineer coming out and going, "Well, but I was distracted by it because my fellow engineer believes something slightly different."
Yeah, it's nonsense. Total nonsense.
Yeah, and to me, it's fairly obvious. Is Colin Kaepernick among the 96 top quarterbacks in the league? Because the quarterbacks go 3 deep at least on each team. Of course, he's among the top 96 quarterbacks. It is an insane conversation we're having. Now let's talk about your politics a little bit, because I read that you've supported the Green Party in the past and Ron Paul in the past. First of all, is that true?
That was a while ago. Yeah, for sure. Getting into politics is a bit. It's a little nerve-wracking because you have people who went to school for this, right? And you have people who have studied what is politics for, decades upon decades, and you're kind of dipping your toe in the water, like, what did I get myself into? But I think it's important for everybody to not be scared to do that, because a lot of the times you'll see debates with guys like Sam Harris, like whatever the case may be. You see guys that really are what I like to call like intellectual juggernauts, and people like us who are kind of just on the fringe, and we live our own lives. I went to school for football. I didn't go to school for politics. I didn't go to school for religion. And so you do the best that you can with the information that's given to you. And people have passions for what they have passions for. My passion isn't politics, but I am what I like to call a thinker, and I have an opinion. So I'm not scared to jump in the water per se, but I am. That's why I'm so bipartisan, because I'm humble enough to understand that I don't know everything, and so I'm really just at a stage in my life where I'm just trying to soak up as much as I can and learn.
I think you've talked about the benefits of smoking marijuana, and
absolutely.
Yeah, and the league does not allow it. They want you to pop pills, or right. At least popping pills is sanctioned, but marijuana isn't. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's another part of the NFL that will be addressed here soon. There are multiple chemicals that they allow you to put in your body that are far more harmful than marijuana. And one of them sponsors the NFL and gives them millions of dollars, and it's alcohol. So alcohol is on all the banners in the stadiums. It's sold at every concession stand. It causes more violence in the stands than any kind of emotion you can muster up. but we're banning players for marijuana just for the simple fact that it's illegal. Just because, it's still a category. What is it? The category 1 drug. Yeah, it's that in itself tells you a lot, and that's a deeper conversation as well. But I feel like anytime you criminalize kids for things like that, while in one hand and in the other hand you're advocating alcohol use, which is far more detrimental to any human being than marijuana is, I think you have a problem on your hands.
When we talk about health in the NFL, we do have to touch on one more topic, which is the CTE studies, and a recent one came out where 110 out of 111 players wound up having some sort of damage to their brain. Now it was self-selected because those families sent those bodies in after they'd passed away, and so it's not necessarily representative of all the NFL. But does that significantly worry you, having played football for so long?
No, I tend not to worry about things too much, man. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, and if it's not, it's not. So worrying kind of just wastes time, right? So all I can do now is enjoy the freedoms that the craft of football gave me and my family, and educate myself as much as I can on all the interesting topics that I would love to delve into, and also make sure my kids don't play football. That's all I can do right now. Okay. And so it doesn't bother me. But what does bother me is that, like, we still let little kids have contact, head-to-head contact, like in Little League or anything up to at least high school. I think is it's pointless, in my opinion. It's the science is gonna continue to get more and more clear on the subject, but I think that I wouldn't be surprised if in 50 to 100 years there's no more NFL.